welcome to the Science Faction Podcast, where science meets fact meets fiction.
This is Science Faction for the week of May 4th, 2026. I'm one of your hosts, Stephen Dominguez, and with me today, two individuals that I'm very curious how they're celebrating their May the 4th.
I'm Benjamin Daniel Alice, and I just bought a Steam controller.
Nice.
Hooray!
And I also wore an R2D2 hat, when this morning.
I saw that
when crossing guard. Now, hat is a little bit weird, but yeah, I'd also like to introduce our other host, Devon Kraft.
Oh, okay. Hey. I mean, I'm not trying to be a jerk. I'm not going out of my way to, but I didn't realize it was May 4th.
All right, let's see. How do we boot him from the call? Let's see, we can. Yeah, it's one of those things. It's silly. Just like what March 10th is Mario Day, and whatever Star Trek junk is there as well.
Why is March 10th
We've
Mario
got
Day?
MAR10 Mario.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah, and then
Devon's like these
April.
kids.
Yeah, and so First Contact Day is April 5th
There you go.
each year.
Sure, why not? So I've been keeping my eyes peeled on the old internet today to see if there's been any like Star Wars brand new. No, I haven't seen anything yet.
There's a lot of sales on Star Wars games and Steam.
I'm sure there is.
Hey,
do you want to buy another copy of Republic Commando for 99 cents? Go for it. Or whatever it is. That's a great game. So, whatever. But like the one Star Wars thing that happened today that was pretty cool was the finale to the Maul Shadow Lord first season. And
okay.
yeah, they put the episodes out at midnight. And so I stayed up last night and I watched them, and worth it 100%. I'm not going to spoil anything, cause it's still, give people a few days to watch, but the 10th episode is just labeled as episode 10 because the true title of the episode is a major spoiler, which is pretty darn cool.
Kind of like what they were doing with Game of Thrones or whatever, or several other prestige television stuff.
Yeah, they'll tend to just call it episode whatever because the real title is like, yeah, it's a spoiler. Anyways,
okay,
super good.
but hey, Power Wash Simulator has got a Star Wars pack coming this summer.
Fortnite's doing a thing as well. Who cares?
Brawlhalla's got Luke Skywalker jumping in on it. Dreamlight Valley has a bunch of Star Wars inspired items too. Disney's Dreamlight Valley.
I'm getting kind of sick of Star Wars at this point.
Mister, how are you all? Can we eject Devon from this because he doesn't celebrate? I'm kind of sick of it. Incredible.
Yeah, it's funny the way that Disney has chosen to use the license. I think the most or the biggest thing that I saw today, it's just more Mandalorian and Grogu like trailers and stuff.
When's that coming out?
The 22nd.
Okay.
Cool. This month?
Yes, this month.
Yeah.
So in like 3 weeks. So the marketing push is really big for that.
Yeah, I'll tell you that like up until this last week, I was not tremendously excited about it, and then I realized, dude, it's a new Star Wars film in the theater.
Yeah,
like, there's something about that is super special and super awesome, and I'm gonna have a good time. So like naysayers, go do whatever else stay away from the theater if you don't want to go. But like,
I mean, yeah, as always, if you're not going to enjoy it, don't go and then complain.
Right. But I mean, like, I don't think I had a proper amount of enthusiasm for what it is. You know, like, yeah, I'm not as excited about what happened with Mando season 3 or the Book of Boba Fett, but like, despite all of that, this is a new Star Wars film in the theater.
Yeah.
And that's cause for celebration, you know?
Yeah, it's
So
pretty
I'm
neat.
in.
And there are rumors flying all over the place about what secret things are in the movie. So here's something that they showed. So a release for a new toy, right? And it's Ahsoka with baby Rada the Hutt from the Clone Wars movie that was actually just the first 3 episodes smashed together, and then they put it in theaters when that was coming out.
Yeah.
In that first thing, it's Jabba's kid, Rada the Hutt, or just Rada, was kidnapped, and then Anakin and his new Padawan Ahsoka and Obi-Wan are sent to go rescue him, and they do, and that's great. But the weird announcement, which has led people to speculate, is that a toy is being put out of Ahsoka and Rada, but it's modeled after, I don't know her name, the girl that played live action young Ahsoka in the Ahsoka series from the Clone Wars flashback that they did.
Oh,
Ariana
okay.
Greenblatt. Is that might be? I think it's somewhere around there. I might have gotten the name wrong, but it's somewhere around there. So it looks like that actress, but dressed as season 1 Ahsoka. So she's got a tube top, which is just bizarre, and then like a realistic looking Rada the Hutt in like a little backpack, which has led people to believe, we're gonna get like a live action, flashback of who Rada is. And perhaps we'll see an Anakin and an Obi-Wan and an Ahsoka, in some scenes, which would be super cool. Would leave probably a lot of people scratching their heads of like, what is this? But if you know, you know. And if you don't, maybe the flashback will be just subtle enough that it won't be a big deal. Or perhaps it was just a toy and there's nothing else behind it. Who knows? But it's hype, so hooray.
Right on.
Live action Clone
you
Wars,
guys,
man.
Yeah. But in other live action news, I got a Steam controller today, you guys. I managed to beat the system and get it pre-ordered to arrive sometime this week. And
To arrive this week?
excited. Well, so like it had when I ordered it, it had a 3 to 5 day delivery time.
Oh wow!
So,
But you
yeah,
pre-order it and it's arriving this week?
well,
Isn't that just ordering?
Yeah.
Yeah,
isn't
I
that
guess I just ordered it. But so it took a lot of mashing the refresh button in order to get it. Let's start back at the beginning. The Steam controller, there's a new one that's come out. There used to be a Steam controller. It was a really neat little device for controlling video games on a computer using Steam. The new one is even better. It's like they took all the stuff that they learned and put into the Steam Deck in terms of the ways that you could control stuff, and they just took the screen and the computer out of it and gave you a new Steam controller. It is $99, and they announced the price and the fact that it was going on sale at 10 a.m. on May the 4th just last week, like last Thursday.
Oh, wow. I didn't even see that news.
Yeah. Within 40 minutes, it was labeled as out of stock.
Of course.
And you can now get them on eBay for $250.
Ugh.
Thank you, scalpers.
That's dumb.
I do not recommend anybody doing that. Don't play that game.
How much are you going to sell yours
I'm
for?
really glad. $1 billion.
All right, so I'm on
yeah.
Steam right now. Steam controller,
Sure.
new, $99,
Yeah.
out of stock. So
Yes.
neat. It has magnetic thumbsticks, which is huge. 4 haptic motors, 35-hour
Right, so-
battery.
The thumbsticks are important to note because it will never get drift. So there's that. Secondly, the main upgrade from the previous generation Steam controller is there is a second thumbstick, whereas the first generation Steam controller had two thumb pads and
Yeah.
one thumbstick.
I could never quite get a hold of those thumb pads. Like for some games, I just couldn't. It wasn't tactile enough for me. I needed the thumbstick.
Yeah, like I want to play a lot of twin stick shooters, and the Steam controller, like the first gen, did not work for me with that. As amazing as it is, like yeah, it also has both of them, both the old and the new, have really good gyro controls. Yeah, like it's got a lot of neat little features in it that allow you to approach things your way. The thumb pads are fascinating because what you could do on the old one is the same as you can do on the new one and on the Steam Deck is you can set up a bunch of different things. Like let's just say you're playing a keyboard and mouse game and you need to have a switcher for, picking up items like and you'd ordinarily press 1 through 9 on a keyboard to get that. Well, you could set up your thumb pad to be a 3x3 touch enabled menu very quickly that just when you select one of those options, it does 1 through 9 on the keyboard.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. And like putting your thumb on it will like show a little HUD, a heads up display on the screen of where your thumb is and what you're about to pick. So that's one way that like immediately helps with the transition between like taking a keyboard and mouse game and giving you more options. Like essentially the Steam controller is just a keyboard and mouse, only in a controller, form factor.
It's interesting because with PC games, you have all the buttons of the keyboard at your disposal, whereas console games, you have the controller. And so this is like Steam's way of kind of trying to bridge that gap a little bit, which is cool and fine and fun, and letting it be programmable, and it is huge. And that's great. I'm glad you got one.
Yeah, me too. And
when's the frame coming?
I'd be crying.
When's the Steam frame coming? Come on.
See, yeah, that's the thing. Like behind the scenes, this has all been a little bit more challenging because with the Rampocalypse that has happened. So like those in the know, you know what I'm talking about. But those not in the know, you may have noticed that a lot of the a lot of consumer technology has increased in price this year, and that has happened mostly because of RAM and storage, like device shortages, that have happened because OpenAI, the company that makes ChatGPT, they put in a request. They basically signed a thing that said we are pledging to buy 1/4 of the world's RAM for AI usage. And so a bunch of RAM manufacturers started going into overdrive and limiting their stock in order to be able to fulfill that. And then OpenAI said, "Oh, sorry, never mind. We have no intention of buying that at all."
So where's the
Right.
RAM going then?
Well, now, so there's been a major fluctuation in the price of it. So that meant that the prices went way up, and computers and video game systems and anything else that use those parts, they increased in price as well. What does this matter for the Steam frame and the Steam machine, the two bits of hardware that were announced at the same time as the Steam controller back in November of last year? It means that they don't know what to properly price it at, because they don't know if their supply chain is going to be rocked by the whims of some third-party company.
Yeah. Okay.
So so the intention, I think, was that they were going to launch the Steam machine, the Steam frame, and the Steam controller all at the same time, and give consumers all that information, and they have not been able to announce pricing or availability of the Steam frame, the VR headset or the Steam Machine, the couch-based video game computer console system.
Couch based.
And
That makes it sound like you have to install it into your couch.
you install it in your couch, you sit on it, it warms the couch while you're
and then the games beam right up to your bum.
Yes. Yeah. You can't, well, it has, you can kind of lean to the left and lean to the right, and that allows you to control, steering and driving based games.
Couch Simulator 2026. Let's go.
But no, I was joking about that last part. But the basic thing is that I think Valve finally said, you know what, we're sitting on a bunch of stock of Steam controllers. Let's just sell these now.
Yeah.
Because a lot of people are going to want one, or we don't know how many people are going to want one. And now it's out of stock within 30, 40 minutes of them on launch time. I imagine they're probably holding on to some stock in order to keep them, to keep some as pack-ins for the Steam Machine. But I don't know at this point. That's like a major assumption.
Yeah, I could totally see them being like, all right, we're going to sell this much, or we're going to put out this much available on May 4th or whatever it is. And the next month, we're going to have the same amount that we'll announce. And the next month, just keep it rolling that way. That way, that would deter maybe the scalpers from going too crazy. Because it's like, oh, well, more's coming. So if you're a consumer that wants to buy it for $99, instead of going to a scalper for $200, you just go, oh, if I just wait a few weeks, more is going to be available, so I don't need the scalper.
Oh yeah,
and that would be great, because who wants scalpers? Ugh, scum and villainy.
Scalpers never change, as they say in Fallout.
Yeah, exactly. That's a direct quote from all the Fallout. Yep.
Scalpers never change. It's the first thing that they say.
Yeah, it's the first line. Devon, talk.
Yeah.
What's been going on, man?
Well, my mom's been in town for a while, for a couple weeks. She's leaving on Wednesday.
For a couple weeks? Wow.
Yeah, I mean, she just decided to go for a long trip. She's not working right now, so she had the time. So she just decided to stay for a while. She's been fine.
Cool.
Yeah, not much really going on.
That's good.
Just hanging out. I'm going to be going to your guys's place in 2 weeks, which is coming up pretty quick.
Yeah, it's going to be fun. We're going to get in a big pile.
And we're not going to record it because we don't have that solved yet. to have decent audio quality in the same place, which is unfortunate. I
mean, when 99% of your recordings are done like this in different states and homes, yeah, it's a hassle to get us all together in person. But hey, maybe we'll figure something out. Who knows? Okay, well, great. I'm glad that nothing's going wrong, Devon. That's good. I'm running a solo dad for the week because the wife's off in Hawaii again, work trip. So, hooray! So I've got that looking forward to this week. The other thing that's going on in my neck of the woods, Cyberpunk Combat Zone. I think I talked about it a few weeks ago, but I've played more. I've gotten some minifigures. I've painted them. I showed you guys some pictures. If you're a patron, you can hop onto the Discord and check it out. Both of you. But it's cool. It's Cyberpunk, right? It's based on the RPG Cyberpunk 2020 by Mike Pondsmith. I forget what his name was. Which is then turned into Cyberpunk 2077, of course, the big video game everyone knows. And then they put out another RPG called Cyberpunk Red, which takes place in like the 2030s. And this, Cyberpunk Combat Zone, is a miniature skirmish game set in about the 2030s of that universe, where the city, Night City, has been split into these warring gangs, and then you get to fight. The faction that I've chosen are the Edge Runners. I I ended up purchasing, it's been over a month in the mail now, but I purchased the Santo Domingo crew from the Cyberpunk Edge Runners anime on Netflix. And then I also picked up a box called Team Monster, which has a bunch of people. I'm not going to get into the lore behind that. If you're a patron, you've heard it already. The cool bit, though, is that one of them looks like Matthew Lillard, serial killer from the movie Hackers.
Now that's cereal as in tasty treat that you eat in the morning.
As in Fruit Loops is a quote from the movie. And I was talking about it with the people that I play this game with. And I was like, oh, yeah, from that movie Hackers. And they're like, what is that? I was like, oh, man, it's the best movie that I watched in junior high. And I sent some clips and like the trailer. I posted it and they were like, oh, looks cool. Well, Greg decided that he's going to watch Hackers. Now, I warned him. One, I was in junior high when I watched it and I thought it was amazing. Two, it has 35% on Rotten Tomatoes.
Oh, that's low.
That's super low.
Huh.
It is still considered like a cult classic, though. So, and I distinctly remember some really cool things in that movie wrapped around just like the bizarre weirdness. So he watched it and he was like, "That was a terrible, awful movie." And I was like, sure, sounds about right. So, anyways, that's been fun. So I'm getting back into some mini painting. It's been since before the new year. Like I haven't painted until I painted these 5 minis. I haven't painted since before Christmas. So it's been a really long time, but getting back into it. So that's been a lot of fun. That's my real life.
Nice.
Well, my friends.
Yeah.
Have you guys ever heard of HFY sci-fi?
Negative.
Sounds familiar.
Okay. So
I just heard about that.
Yeah. So my wife, she's been she got like served some stuff via the algorithm on Facebook, and it was like a hour and a half long storyline that was like narrated. Some sci-fi story that was narrated about like I guess humans are part of a intergalactic society, and they have to stand. There's like another alien race that's kind of bullying a bunch of stuff and like taking over, different colonies and that sort of thing. And the humans stand up and give them a bloody nose, and and it's basically all about how human ingenuity makes, done in very, very fun and interesting ways, makes these other alien races think twice about messing with us. And so I started looking this up because I was, she was like, some of these stories would be probably really good for us to go through on book club. And I started looking them up, and they all had this, they all were like labeled with HFY. I was like, what's this HFY? Like, there's a bunch of HFY. It stands for humanity F yeah.
Oh no.
And the basic gist is like, here are stories about how humans overcome overwhelming odds on a galactic stage, and usually involve like how crazy we are and how self-destructive we are, weaponized against yeah.
So they're human supremacy stories?
Yes, essentially, yes.
Uh-oh.
Right? Which, could be cool.
Yeah.
Nicole's enjoying them. Yeah.
Ooh,
but
red
also...
flag for Nicole. These people have the right idea. I bet they're white, too.
I don't know.
No.
That.
I'm joking.
Yeah. I do think that is a fascinating thing you're bringing up, is that so often the diversity that we see in science fiction is meant to be a mirror to the diversity that exists here in humanity. And so be very careful about whether or not that veers into authoritarianism or a few other things, because diversity is does have strength. to it. So I get you.
Yep.
But that's been an interesting thing that I've been hearing about and seeing about.
HFY sci-fi.
HFY.
Yeah, you know, let's. I'm all for it. Let's check out one of those stories. I want to see what it's all
Right.
about.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Yeah, but that won't be next week. We already have something I'm really excited to read.
Oh boy.
But yeah.
All right. Well,
But
I think.
also-
Go ahead. Go ahead.
Shall we talk about future or now?
I was gonna say, yeah. Let's move right along to future or now.
No.
Well, let's.
Do you guys want to start, or shall I?
Let's.
keep on talking?
Devin and I are gonna start, and we're gonna click on this
We
link
are?
that you posted. Oh yeah, we
Okay.
are going to buy Spirit Airlines. Devin and I together.
Yes. Let's go. And you too can as well, dear listener.
I mean, as long as the site doesn't keep overloading.
Well, it says pledges are temporarily paused. So
Yeah. Well, see, here's the thing. So if you've been hiding under a rock, Spirit Airlines, which is the cheapest version of flying, also meaning
In the United States.
in the United States, also meaning the most affordable to everyone, right? Lower income people, if they have to fly somewhere, that's probably where they're going to start looking because it's affordable. But because of rising, fuel prices, because of choices some people have made, they just straight up are gone now. Like they just don't exist. Stranding travelers, like people had tickets going to the, which gate do I go to? And just gone.
I wasn't thinking about it. I got to check my flights for 2 weeks. Did I schedule it on Spirit?
If you did,
uh-oh.
oops.
I don't think I did. I think it was American. Let me
Or
see.
quickly by Spirit.
Yeah.
But now,
That was
mind
American.
you, mind you, it may not just be because of the rising costs of fuel. That, of course, probably has a big portion of it. But according to this site, Spirit Airlines failed because Wall Street loaded it with debt and extracted every dollar it could, which is a tale as old as consumerism and capitalism. And, despite the fact that the roots are real, the demand is real. And maybe it would be helpful to have ownership that answers it to people, not to shareholders.
Mm-hmm.
So this is a site that basically is saying, hey, like was done with the Green Bay Packers, that are the only community-owned franchise in the NFL, where 360,000 ordinary people own shares of the Green Bay Packers. No billionaire can move the team. No hedge fund can gut it for parts. So they're hoping to create to use that model and apply it to aviation for the first time in American history. And so given that May 2nd, 2026, Spirit Airlines canceled all their flights, they closed their gates, 44 million annual passengers were left without an airline. And the assets, the planes, the routes, the slots, the brand, they're all available right now and the window's open. So they're encouraging everybody that's interested to pledge a share if you'd like to be part of it. And so your minimum pledge is $45, which was essentially the average price of a ticket.
A one-way ticket. Yep.
Yeah. And they're saying, hey, if we can raise enough, then we can put in a bid and have this be a community-owned, airline.
Mm-hmm.
So
How much have they? How much have they
let's say
raised?
that actually happens. Like who?
Yeah.
Maybe it says on the website, but like who's actually in charge of like going to whoever it is to negotiate the sale and then actually operate it? Like how is it going to be operated? Like who?
Yeah.
How does any of this work?
So first off, the basic plan is that whatever, like, this is all just a proposed concept. Like, you're actually not going to pay anything today. This is an intent to buy a share, and the final cooperative structure has to still be reviewed and approved by Qualified Securities and Aviation Council. Participation doesn't guarantee ownership, financial return, or membership in any final entity. This is really a movement, not an investment product. Now, but what they're proposing is like gather the intent to buy, figure out the funds, that way that they can put in a bid on everything. And the hope is that when this all goes through, if it becomes a cooperatively owned airline, it's one member, one vote. Your voice is equal regardless of pledge size. There's profit sharing proportional to your pledge. So if you pledged, for 3 shares, then you'll get 3 times the amount as someone who in profit sharing as someone who owned 1 share. They want to fight for worker ownership. So flight crew, ground staff, and employees holding meaningful equity. And then, essentially continuing with affordable fares, transparent operations, and no golden parachutes. So capping all executive pay at a fair ratio to median worker pay. And the basic idea here is, 44 million passengers flew Spirit last year. That's 44 million potential co-owners. And aviation is a public good. The people who depend on it should own it. So, why is this important now? Well, private equity does move fast, and they want this cooperative bid to move faster. So, yeah.
So to answer your question, Devon, we don't know who's going to be in charge.
Right. Yeah.
I know that the dude that put this up, he's self-proclaimed like, I am autistic and a huge aviation fan, so I'm perfect for this. It was something like that. Because this was just like a dude who's like, we should do this. And other people were like, yeah, we should. He was like, all right, I'll make a website. And this is the website. It's very quick. I mean, this was 2 days ago that they shut down, and now there's already this. So far, the unverified total pledges are at $88 million. The average pledge size is about $667. We got to get it up to over $1 billion, though. Like, I think it's like 1.2 billion to be able to purchase. So who knows? But this is pretty cool. This is like one way to fight back against the billionaires. This is one way to say, hey, actually there are other ways to do business. And it's a great idea. I have no idea if it's going to actually work. Right. But it's super interesting. And as they say, things like this can work. Green Bay Packers. The other one is Winco Foods that they cite here. So this isn't like some pie in the sky, like, oh, it's a dream that all these people can just do this. Like, no, this is a viable option. The problem is the ticking clock. Like, how fast can we really get this money together? But it's been 2 days, and $88 million in 2 days, not bad. So,
I mean, my concern with that, though, is like you can pledge the money but not actually pay the money yet, right? So how do they verify? Like, how do you? Like, the money should go in trust or something. Yeah, like, I feel like as soon as, like, say this works, and they're like, okay, now it's time to collect the money. Like, I feel like there's a lot of people who are going to be like, oh yeah, no, I was just, at the time it sounded like a fun thing, but I'm not going to actually give you $1,000.
Well, then don't put down $1,000.
Well, I know, but how do you prevent people from doing that? Or even just trolls from doing it?
Right? You don't. Right? I mean, it's just, the thing is that there's no way to figure all this stuff out until we figure it out, right? But this is a model that has been used for, I guess, was it drop shipping? Is that the name of there's like a particular purchasing model where you open up like, hey, I want to make a bunch of this one thing, but in order for economies of scale to happen, I need to have pledges for it. I mean, Kickstarter is on that model, right?
Yeah.
But doesn't I guess I've never really used Kickstarter. When you do that, do they hold the money at that time, or you don't pay anything until it's completed?
You don't pay until it's completed. Yeah, so it's the same thing where you're promising money, and if they don't earn enough, then the project's canceled and you don't have to pay. But as soon as the project goes through, then they start charging cards. And that doesn't seem to be the case with this. There's nothing on here that says, okay, when we say go, we're going to charge a credit card or whatever. It just says all this is, and it's at the very bottom of the page, non-binding pledge of intent only. And it's all there at the bottom of the page. So, I mean, they're out here straight saying, hey, you're not bound to anything, but we want to see who's interested. And so, yeah. This is like one step away from a Kickstarter or something, right? This is all intent. And if this guy put this up and like nothing happened, it would be like, all right, well, I guess people aren't interested. But it appears people are interested. There's 124,000 founding patrons, they're calling them. Not like Patreon patrons, but just patrons. 124,000 people, not bad, but not the 44 million that, used to fly on Spirit every year. So it's interesting. It's only been 2 days. We'll have to see where it goes. But crowdfunding stuff, especially like the way I know crowdfunding stuff is all through games. It's all through role-playing games, board games, miniature games. And it's a pretty good model that I've seen where it's like, here's a cool thing. Are you willing to pay this money for it? Yes, I am. Great. Are enough people willing to? Yeah, great. Now we make the thing, right? It's not, here's a thing, and now we have to market it to make sure people buy it. It's the opposite, right? People are already saying, I want this. Please make this for me. Here is money. It's interesting. It's a different way of going about things. And right, a lot of the stuff that I've got. Go ahead.
Kind of the employee-owned co-op model, like REI has.
Right. There's some going on with REI lately, though. I saw it in the news, but I don't know enough about it to talk about it. Something about like all of the people at the bottom not happy with the people at the top, but I don't know much more about that. But yeah, that's the idea. So cool.
I think it sounds like a cool idea too. I'm for it. I'm just not sure logistically how it would work. And I would still be concerned with people pledging money and then not actually coming through in the end. But I'm sure whoever you have the like once you have all these pledges together and go, and whoever reviews it, that's probably something they'll want proof of, which can then be obtained.
Yeah.
But maybe even consider the flip side. There is an equal amount of potential in more people signing on when it's guaranteed that it's a sure thing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's got to get momentum and get moving.
Yeah.
Like I'm not going to put any money down because I don't like to fly, but I'm all for this.
Yeah, I think that like in this moment when we're seeing the dangers of a small group of billionaires controlling all, controlling everything.
The sentence ends there. Controlling all. Period.
Yeah, controlling all, and just maximizing their profit and treating the world as if it's their little playground. This feels really refreshing, and especially in this moment.
Like how great would it be? Because Spirit Airlines is like known as, or it was known as, like the cheap version of flying, and all the things that go with that, which is like you don't get a lot of amenities. The people that are coming on are of a poorer class of people, and so certain things go along with that as well. How great would it be if we, the people, decided, hey, we're gonna buy Spirit and we're gonna keep putting money into it until it's the best airline out there. Like the Costco model of like, look, no, this hot dog, $1.50. So you can pay for other things, but like the basic hot dog, still $1.50. And if they could make Spirit like plane ticket, $45. But if you want this, if you want that, yeah, you can pay more, but like you know what I mean. it would be really cool
Yeah.
and interesting if it would like.
Well, I think that was Spirit's model, though. I mean, that's why they were so cheap, and then they charged for any additions. Um, just
Right.
and that didn't
So,
work out.
like, I think that overall, the answer to all this would be antitrust enforcement, by governments and much stronger regulation of businesses in general. Right now, we can't really count on that from the U.S. government.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, I'm stoked about other, like other models. Well, what does that leave us? How can we, and this seems like a really interesting, if not thought experiment, something a little bit more concrete than a thought experiment. And like, wouldn't it be nice if?
And this could lead to other things like, oh, hey, this didn't work out, but we know that this is the direction people want businesses to be in, or a section of people want businesses to be like this. Yeah, let's move on.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah. All right, what else do we have here? Oh, Ben, you can talk more, I guess.
Sure. Yeah, I'm the only one who did his homework this week. So,
Man,
you guys,
I'm tired.
I'd like to direct everybody to a blog post called "The Paper Computer," which was written April 8th of this year, 2026, by James Sommers. And what he proposes is what he calls a paper computer. So the basic gist here is that there are things that the physical world does really well, and there are things that AI and computers do really well. What if you had the best of both worlds? So his first example is something that he did recently, which was he wrote out this entire blog post that he had. His first draft was written out in a physical notebook, and then he scanned it, used AI to clean it up, and then published it. But and with the current models of LLMs, transcriptions seem to be nearly perfect. But what if it wasn't just that? What if you were playing around with rearrangements of a complicated outline, or if you're trying to collaborate with someone else on an outline, and the best form of that is like putting a bunch of physical note cards on a table and having real objects to work with, which allows sometimes for more flexibility than software. You can stack cards, drawing them, cut them, tape things to them, and none of those improvised ways of organizing has to be coded up in advance. Like, you could use physical space to organize the information. Like, if you have a big project and this room, like maybe you're working on a book or a movie, and you have an entire room that has all of the different notes and storyboards and stuff up on all the walls, and maybe even spilling out on the floor. And you can move it and rearrange it and work on it in progress, because it's kind of in a physical space.
Okay.
Now, a lot of people don't work that way because it lacks a lot of critical conveniences. So, like, a huge wall mount and paper calendar may be the best way to plan and visualize a large coordinated effort. But if something changes and you've already written on that calendar, it's difficult to erase or white out an area and rewrite it. And so, like, those sorts of things that are a little bit more permanent, let the computer handle that. And so, like, can we get the best of both worlds? I know previously we were looking at dynamic land,
I'm going to say this sounds kind of familiar, and that's what I was thinking of. I'm like, you also wrote us a story of something where you could manipulate stuff, but you were still being done by a computer, like projecting holograms or whatever you want to call them.
That was like the room-sized computer thing.
Right.
I remember
which is something that is a real thing, exists, but also outside the realm of what most people can do right at the moment. And so this article is saying, well, what if there's the concept of that, but you do it on a smaller scale and you use the tools you have right now, and like consider it as a way of thinking about computing less than a like you must do computing this way, you know? So I found it a really interesting article, mostly because right now we're at the moment where, due to LLMs, Claude Code, that sort of thing, a lot of computing is becoming more accessible in terms of the ability to create your own bespoke, homegrown, computer programs without necessarily needing to have the knowledge about, computer programming. It's likely going to be garbage compared to what you would get off the shelf. Like it won't have all of the, it won't be well tested. But who cares if it's your own bespoke stuff and you're not trying to sell it? It's just meeting your needs right now.
Hey, as long as it's not jammed full of ads and like subscriptions and other nonsense that everything has in it now, that's already a plus.
Right. And, if you make it, unless you add that sort of garbage to it,
right,
it's not going to have it. Right. But like that idea right now is we're at an interesting inflection point of computing where things in 5 to 10 years are not going to look the way they do right now, potentially. And so I'm really curious about that, but also, like right now we're also dealing with not just this creation of computing problem. We're dealing with a lot of problems with attention and with executive dysfunction and not being able to get things done because we have these attention-seeking machines that are around us at all times. Well, what if, like, we threw away all, like, if you're having trouble starting on a project because you know that the end goal needs to be in a computer and, you don't know the steps to get it into there, but it's easier to start when it's in a physical space. Start in the physical space. Consider that there are new things that are kind of moving that in the future, like, despite the fact that you could do all these things right now, sure, but like, consider that perhaps in the future it's going to be even easier, that like the computers start to service us and what we need them to do rather than our eyeballs and attention, lining billionaires' pockets. We're on a theme today.
The world is on a theme right now. How about that?
Yeah.
Wait, billionaires line their pockets with our eyeballs?
Yeah. Yes,
crazy.
That's what I said. That sounds like a good name for this episode.
Oh boy, I'm not typing that in, but you can. That actually kind of building off the back of that and the Spirit Airlines things. I saw, and this is just, random stuff. Apparently, Trump was trying to sell a Trump phone. You guys remember this?
Yes.
Phone?
Yes.
Yeah, it was like a gold-plated phone called the T1, and
it was an Android-based operating system made in China.
Look, I don't think they even went that far because they sold it to their base for $100 as a down payment, and then they're like, "Yeah, it's going to be available in 3 months, and then 6 months, and then a year." And then now on their website, it's like that $100 was just a down payment that doesn't guarantee anything. And right now, we're not putting anything out. So it was just a scam, just a straight up scam. So it's things like that where we're talking about billionaires lining their pockets with our eyeballs. That's just another one of those things. And,
well, there's a person on
Trump coin.
Yeah, well, there's someone on the YouTubes or TikToks or whatever that goes through, like, they signed up for the to get the regular emails from whatever Trump's super PAC is, to get the fundraising information, and the fundraising stuff they send to their own base is like insane. like on you send me us this like or like oh Trump personally wanted to contact you, and if you give us this much money it proves you're a true patriot, like just and I'm not even like I forgot exactly what it says, but I'm just like
That
that's pretty
sounds.
tame compared to what they actually say.
I was gonna say that sounds like a silly joke, but I bet that's like word for word what's in some of those emails.
It's like work. Yeah, it's like worse than what I'm saying.
Yeah. Trump loves you. Give us money. Like, and that's all the email is. And they're like, "Yep, here's some money. That's
Or he
great."
won't love you if you don't give us money.
Yeah, it's probably more threat based. Yeah. Okay, let's not talk about that anymore. Cool. So we got paper computers. That's just pencils and papers, but that's cool.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
No,
again,
that's an interesting idea.
Can high tech save us from high tech? Right.
Yeah,
And I think so.
That'd be really super cool. Let's take a break. We're already 50 minutes in. That's fine. But we're going to take a break now. When we come back, it's going to be book club time. And we are going to be going over Saint Zero of the Hollows and the Eagle Knight, which I hope you read because I just finished it before we started recording. And spoilers, greatly enjoyed it. So we're going to be talking about that when we come back. So we'll be right back. Hey, you. Yeah, you sitting there listening to this for free, like some kind of podcast freeloader. Look, I'm not saying you owe us, but if you enjoy our deep dives into AI, space, and comic book mayhem, maybe toss a coin to your podcasters. Join our Patreon, get into our Discord, grab some exclusive content, and finally achieve that deep, satisfying sense of superiority over your non-Patreon listeners. Just imagine their sad, uninformed little faces. Patreon.com/Science Faction Podcast, because knowledge is power, and power is best hoarded behind a paywall. And we're back.
Heyo.
Hey, everybody.
And a big thank you to our patrons, Renee and Josh. And so I know we've discussed what we're reading this week.
Yeah.
But next week, we're going to be reading a short story by Andrea Kriz called Update on Rules for the Spatiotemporal Use of Campus Spaces.
Huh.
And the beginning of it, dear members of the community, as we begin yet another fall semester in the throes of the rogue time stream unleashed on our campus, I cannot help but take a moment to marvel at just how vibrant our community has become.
Rogue time stream? Uh-oh.
Yeah. I cannot wait to read this one, you guys.
That sounds fun.
Sounds like a real banger. It's going to be a short one, too. Shorter than this week's. But this week, we had V.M. Ayala's Saint Zero of the Hollows and the Eagle Knight.
Everyone read this, right?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I listened to it. Yeah.
Oh, that's fine. So immediately, I got Red Rising vibes. What about you guys?
Yeah.
I haven't read it. So, okay, this is kind of got Red Rising. Okay.
All right.
Yeah.
So
The terminology, the
very basics of Red Rising is that in the future the human race is been divided up into colors, but it's from the top to the bottom. The ultra rich and able to access everything all the way down to the reds, who are just like minors and considered nothing. So this does have that vibe to it in a way, because the main character is from something called the Hollows, which is never really explained except for it appears to be the hollow of the asteroid they're on, meaning the interior.
Yeah.
So that's why I got them Red Rising vibes. But this is a jousting. Yeah. This is all about jousting. Space jousting.
And socioeconomic class-based jousting.
Yeah.
You got princes and princesses. Well, no, princes, and not necessarily princesses, except for a very few. But the basic gist of it is that there's these jousting competitions. They're fights to the death, and they're generally only for cisgendered males, and so Zero is a trans guy that is the gender, like
I don't even know. I wouldn't even say guy because they go by they them, so they're kind of undefined.
True. Yeah.
But there
the
is
gender marker is wrong, but it's fine.
Yeah, they are taken to a hospital after one of these not really a hospital, but after one of these jousts, they are my sound just went weird. Sorry.
Okay.
Someone else talk.
Okay. Well, they go into a hospital to get patched up after suffering potentially life-threatening issues from everything, and well, they're the basic gist of it is you learn a little bit more about Zero. Zero is not only from a low class kind of area, but also they're not the typical gender that fights in these things. They are in love with with the Eagle Knight, Sylvie de Aguilon, who Aguilon, there it is, who is a exorbitantly wealthy person who she basically says, I don't care, I'm rich enough, I don't follow the patriarchal rules, and they're in love, Zero and Sylvie, and yeah, kind of just dealing with there's 3 different joust matches that happen in the story, and the last one is Sylvie Zero versus Sylvie, and where it ends up.
I mean, there is like this undercurrent story about people from the Hollows looking up to Zero or Saint Zero as some kind of revolutionary figure, and they are just kind of there to enact revenge against the people that have killed their family.
Yeah.
So there's like this revolution that's happening, and they're kind of like, I mean, yeah, that's great, but I'm here for other reasons. Which I thought was really kind of interesting. That's not like the purpose of the story, but it is woven in there.
It to me it felt very Hunger Games meets Game of Thrones in a weird, future.
Which setting. Is exactly how I think I've described Red Rising before. Is Hunger Games. Okay. And yeah. Which you should read. It's a good book. They're good books.
Yeah, Red Rising are great. It's great.
I'm in. Let's go.
The fun like little sci-fi bits is like they ride on something called a Pegasi, but and they have like a suit, and they are somehow like their skulls are plugged into their Pegasi, kind of Avatar like. And when they're jousting, like that is one of the things that they could aim for is like the connector. And in fact, one of the jousts, Saint Zero specifically aims for that. And there's like a sickening pop as like the cords are ripped out of their skull and their face is spread all across the ground. Something like it gets pretty brutal, but in like a good way. It's a good brutal. They also don't have an arm, like because it keeps getting jousted off and then reprinted and put back on, which is cool. There's a lot of little like sci-fi touches that aren't expanded on, but there's just enough that you get like a really good vibe about what this world is and how it works. I really enjoyed that.
Agreed. Yeah. I mean, I loved it. That was good. That was really good. And I'd really like to read more of VM Ayala's work, which you can see at spacevalkyries.com.
So like what's interesting here at the bottom, so there's a link to the lightspeedmagazine.com at the bottom of the page. There's like a little blurb about the author. VM Ayala, they, is a queer, disabled, biracial, Mexican-American sci-fi fantasy writer. There's a lot of things going on there, and all of those things that are going on there are in this story, right? Like there are like there's a big like Mexican influence just with like the names and like speaking Spanish and all that is in the story. Being disabled or queer, disabled, biracial, like that's what the main character is. I mean, when you have an arm that's replaced by some kind of machine, like, yeah, you're technically disabled. So like this person, this VM Ayala, like really put themselves into the story, it feels like. And I think that adds like that extra layer of realism or authenticity to this story. And I'm curious to see what else they've written because that's pretty cool.
Mm-hmm.
For sure. Yeah. So that's there you go. Saint Zero of the Hollows and the Eagle Knight. Good call.
Out of 4. Rate this out of 4 jousts. How many jousts would you give this, Ben?
I'd give it 4, mostly because I mean, aside from the subject matter, it's written so very well. It's propulsive.
Yes.
You know, and yeah, like it did not feel like it was as long as it was.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, big thanks to Lightspeed magazine for continuing to amplify these writers. Pretty rad.
What about you, Devon? How many jousts out of 4 would you give this?
3 out of 4.
3?
Yeah.
Tell me why. I
mean, first off, on that scale, how often would I give something 100%? So it's hard to say anything's perfect. But I mean, I enjoyed it, but it also like seemed familiar because it had so many elements that I've seen in other places.
Mm-hmm.
So to me, it was kind of like, okay, cool. It's another story about, this type of sci-fi world where you've got the kind of Greek or Roman influence on the society, and then you've got like classic things like jousting and kings and queens. So I mean, that's all cool, but it's not necessarily new, but they did a good job with it.
All right, fair enough, I guess. All right, I think that's
like we were listening to on our last road trip, we started listening to The Will of the Many, which is every time I've seen it come up on a lot of things about recommendations for recent sci-fi, and it's often also compared to Red Rising because it also has like the same kind of like the names are Roman and a lot of like all the architecture seems like very classical, and so it's got the same feel to it as Red Rising, and so I guess my point is that's a common theme that seems to be becoming a common theme in sci-fi. So that's why maybe to me it didn't seem as new because I was like, okay, well, this is the third thing I've read where it has this kind of feel to it.
Okay. Yeah. So
but The Will of the Many is interesting. We haven't finished the book. We were halfway through it and we haven't had the opportunity to listen to more. But anyway.
All right. Cool.
It has the main difference to that book is everybody has, I mean, you can basically maybe call it the Force, but it's like everyone has a will, but they can actually like use it for things. But the way society is structured, everybody from a lower tier has to cede part of their will to somebody that's a higher tier above them. And so the higher you are in the pyramid, the more people are ceding their will to you, so the more powerful you are.
What if people had the Force and were part of a pyramid scheme?
Basically, yeah.
Oh, no. That seems ripe for a revolution of some sort.
Yep.
So, yeah, this is a common theme in sci-fi because this is a common theme in our reality. We are a whole bunch of people at a lower tier, while the higher tier people, the billionaires, can do what they want because they have all the money.
Yep, the rules don't apply to them.
Exactly. So, yeah, that's why these kinds of stories like The Red Rising, like The Will of Many, like The Hunger Games, like over and over and over these things are repeated because it keeps happening in real life and we can't stop it. For some reason, it just keeps happening. All right, guys, that was a great episode. Let's wrap this one up. Next week, like we mentioned, or like Ben mentioned, updates on rules for the spatio-temporal use of campus spaces. There are links in our show notes if you'd like to read that ahead of book club next week. And with that, I think I'm going to ask Devon if he's got anything on his mind.
No, not really. But you kind of threw me off with that. But that is a better question than the usual question. But nope.
Nope, nothing on your mind?
But we're not going to answer it.
But we're still not going to answer it.
Excellent. Ben, you got any last words for us?
Well, some people have so little to do at work that they can spend the whole day making up Star Wars puns. I bet their job is really boring.
Good night, everybody.
This has been the Science Faction Podcast. Tweet to the host at SciFact Podcast. Email them at sciencefactionpodcast@gmail.com and visit sciencefactionpodcast.com for more episodes.